attracted more fans and had more viewers than I have and you have in our entire lifetime. Can we welcome Mark Hamill?
Interesting what Lee said, because I can't conjure up in my mind how many millions of people must have seen Star Wars and now The Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
How many millions would you imagine around the world?
Well, it's a thing that I don't really like to think about. You know, doing a television show like this, I don't really ponder the numbers. I think you try and do your best if you're on stage for 100 people or telling a joke in your living room for just your mother and her friends.
There has to be somebody around that deals in trivia who must have figured out, let's see, the picture gross this much, that means breaking it down, they charge this much of tickets, so many million people saw it.
I'm sure they have, but again, it's a funny thing because people seem to, I've just come off a worldwide tour. I think I'm still on Hong Kong time.
Taking you where? Tell me where you were in the world.
Well, this time was different than the first one. Most of the time we would go to like London and journalists from Italy and Germany would come there. But it's interesting, the different questions they ask you from different countries. But a lot of the people are really interested in the money aspect because they're told it's the highest grossing film of all time. And
is it now still #1, Star Wars?
As we speak.
By a large margin.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe an easier way is how many languages do you think the film is in?
It's translated into nearly every language there is now. They're even they're dubbing one into Swahili. I've never seen.
Wouldn't you love to see that?
I would love to. They're working on a print right now where you can sit in they have it keyed to all like 11 major languages, and you can sit at the dial and punch which language the movie will immediately switch. So Darth Vader will be speaking Japanese.
Where's this happening?
This is just like a present to the actors from George. We're going to get a screening of it because everyone's been complaining that they want to hear the foreign dub.
I understand he is unlike all the others who do what he does. He and Francis Ford Coppola kind of do their own thing and have their own...
You're constantly meeting people that do things in their own way. Sam Fuller is an excellent example.
Yeah.
Frankly, when I read the screenplay to Big Red One...
Excuse me, tell who Sam Fuller is.
Samuel Fuller wrote and directed The Big Red One. I read the script and I said, this thing's terrific. But I had great reservations because I was looking for a role that would show me in a situation that would broaden the spectrum of roles that I could get. I mean, the tendency is for people to remember, you know, they call me an overnight success, but that was like one of the longest nights of my life. It was 10 years. And always.
Everybody's
so, you know, after all the work, people tend to think of you as that first kid that you saw. Golly, they followed us. And my job was to find something that really showed that I have some versatility.
Yeah. Tell me about working with this man, because, and I'm not saying this, just sitting there doing that thing with him at the opening of the show, I say to myself, my God, because he's larger than life, and the image of this guy, he can't intimidate
sort
you,
of
right?
Passed into American folklore.
His face will be on Mount Rushmore someday.
If you're a movie buff, it's going to have to be a big mountain to carve that face. But no, really, if you're a movie buff at all, you've seen him, and he's really become, along with John Wayne,
an institution.
Right. So I figured, gee, I had enough problems with robots. I don't want to be eaten alive by this guy.
So you did have some apprehension.
Sure I did, but, you know...
How'd you...
I went in and I met Sam Fuller. I thought the least I could do was tell him, not that I didn't want to do the movie because I didn't like the screenplay. It's just that I was looking for a play to do. Maybe do a play in New York.
Yeah.
And about 90 seconds after I walked through the office, I knew I was going to be along for the journey. He's a human dynamo. I mean, he acted out the entire invasion of Normandy Beach in an office over at Lorimar, which I thought was phenomenal. No, really, the Germans, the Americans, all the bombs, the boats, all the sound effects.
Were you there, Lee, for that?
No, I was sitting with him in a restaurant in Munich when he was telling me about it.
I see.
And this is a very fine old German restaurant. You're thinking he shot 6,000 krauts. Everybody in the restaurant he shot 17 times. And they were all saying, "Was ist los?" See, kid, he says, then you get up and you go, stick that knife in him and you're going, very gentle man.
This nice, gentle human being we're talking about is going to be here in person tomorrow.
Right.
Have you met him yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well,
How long is your show?
90 minutes.
Oh, that'll give him time.
yeah, that's World War II and World War I.
That's
part
right.
one.
That's right.
What is this man like with fans? Because I know he's recognized. I mean, Lee's got a face. Everybody in the world knows that face.
Well, that was, now see, this was all new to me. All of a sudden walking out and being part of the people's memory banks. They say, Star Wars. See, I'm doing that now too, Lee. But Lee gets it everywhere he goes. I mean, there's some...
No. This is all fictitious.
This is all fictitious.
We stay in the same hotel.
No, wait a minute. With this...
No, because, everybody just walks by and they kind of give me a hand.
Yeah.
But he couldn't spend a night, sleep at all in these hotels because everybody was running up and wanting to know if RG-D2 was there.
Are you dumb too?
And they're knocking on his door. It's true.
No. We were sitting in
a
pizza restaurant in Israel, and
a pizza restaurant in Israel?
Hey, listen, it's a class act. But we were sitting there having a pizza, and some gentleman with a camera around his neck came up and said in broken English, "Oh, Mr. Marvin, I like you so very much. I like you in Paint Your Wagon when you sang I was boring under a wandering star." Boring?
You didn't correct him, did you?
He was right. How could I do it? You're caught.
We have a scene from the Big Red One. It's between you, Mark, and Lee. So can you kind of set it up for us?
The Bangalore Relay. But the thing is that's great about the Big Red One is it's just the antithesis to Star Wars. There's no heroics. It's staying alive in a war. It doesn't matter which war, and it's
honest.
I think
very
so.
honest.
I think so. So this could be any beach in any war, and just something that happens to a soldier who gets cold feet.
Okay, roll it, Artie, please. The Big Red One.